All right, shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, glory, and worship unto Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahasham,
Bahasham,
Yahushai,
Yahushua,
Bahasham,
Bahasham,
Rachakodash.
Rachakodash.
Double honors unto the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations unto you, Akim, upholding the testimony of Yahweh Shai in truth and in sincerity. As Brother Yaikwa,
I'm the brother Kasada.
all right, couple of Akim out of Great Millstone, Atlanta. And this lesson will be entitled Experience Matters. All right, experience matters, and it's inspired, in which we can also coincide it to the individuals of formerly of Sakari, but it was inspired by the San Antonio Spurs and their coach. He said, I didn't pull the video up, but he did say that essentially, I'm briefly paraphrase, experience doesn't mean anything. He said that I believe after the OKC victory, or in the midst of the series of OKC, and that statement is not true.
Yeah.
Experience means a lot. It's not everything, but it is huge. It's huge.
Right.
And it shows itself. The lack of experience, it'll show itself in the times, oftentimes, where it's needed the most. Experience is needed the most. All right. So applying it to the truth, right? You can have gifts, you can have talents, you can be fervent, but you can read the law, you can read the scriptures, but nothing amounts to actual lived experience in the truth. That's why we give double honors to the apostles that do well.
Yeah.
Because these men, not only do they have the fervent love, they have the information, the knowledge, the wisdom, but they have the experience in which they relay that to us, which is very beneficial. But even ourselves, we come up on our level as an individual by going through our own individual experience.
Yeah.
How many times have the apostles said something, and I speak for myself, and it was true, it was true. But I had to go through it myself for me to be like, you know what, yep, they were right. Especially dealing with women. That's what I think of a woman. Apostles give wise counsel based upon their experience of dealing with things that it'll be beneficial to take heed to. You said Romans the 5th chapter.
Okay.
What verse?
You can start at the top.
Okay, this is Romans chapter 5, verse 1. Therefore, being justified by faith, we have peace with God through our Lord Yahweh Mashiach.
Yeah, how do you exercise faith, man? By the works.
Yeah.
And your works is how you gain experience.
Yep.
So your experience in this walk of ours and this labor of ours is our way of showing faith. So most Jake ain't really, they don't have the faith. They don't really believe. And you have individuals that really don't believe because they fall out of the truth. They become demons, wicked, but they ain't really exercise the things that they were supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Which is getting into the scriptures, getting around brothers, casting out certain spirits.
Yeah.
Within yourself. It ain't just brothers around you and Jake in the world. You gotta do it yourself too, You gotta deal with, you gotta deal with your own self too, this flesh. Your biggest enemy is yourself, as Jake would say.
Yeah. That's true. Because when it comes to salvation in your own individual walk, you're the one, it's your works that matter. Your conduct, your thought process, how you interact with, your decision making when you're put in front of certain trials.
Yep.
That's experience, and that it determines what and who you are. Not just a quick stat sheet. You know, you look at Wemby, which I love Wemby.
Yep.
You know, we were just talking about the passion that he shows. You know, that's a part of being a man of the Lord, that passion,
Yep.
you know, that zeal, you know, hungry, love. But we see his experience, even he's an excellent player. He's great. But we're seeing his experience. He hasn't been through those situations.
No.
He hasn't been through seasons and, you know, seen different looks.
Yeah.
You know, he hasn't really come all the way up into his game yet.
Yeah.
You know, he's still trying to figure his play style. Even though he has things in his bag, he's still trying to figure things out. And it'll be sought out through experience. You know?
Yeah. I had the etymology experience. This is the etymology of experience. It says observation as the source of knowledge. Occasionally observation, an event which has affected one.
Right. And a certain portion of the experience is gotten via observations, right? So, such as reading the scriptures. You do gain experience by reading the testimonies of Yahushua, of the different apostles, of the prophets. That in itself is experienced by testimony.
Yep.
All right. And so we know certain things. Okay, well, I don't want to come up against Moses because look what happened to those guys.
Yeah.
That's a form of experience. We didn't go through it ourselves personally, but it's experience. You know, and there's another level of experience where you actually go through certain events. You go through certain things personally yourself. You know. You got some more on that?
Yeah, I got some more. It says also experiment, experience, knowledge gained by repeat trials.
Yeah.
Repeat trials and scriptures the brother was going into. The scriptures are written for our learning. These events and these testimonies that these men before us, our forefathers who went through these things before us, is already laid this down for us.
Right.
So we can learn what not to do.
Yeah.
You know? And even so much so, even with our wicked brother ruling, we're learning how to not rule in his, like him.
Yeah.
When we inherit the kingdom. You know?
That's right. That's right. We see the curses. Even though we didn't, as an individual, didn't go through certain curses. Well, in this incarnation, I'll say, right?
Yeah.
That's still an experience for us. Like, look what happened to our people when we broke the commandments. That's experience.
Yeah, experience.
You know, look what happened to us as individuals. Look at our lives because of our, you know, missteps or, you know, just us going through this captivity. We like, wow, we were talking about that earlier. We were like, man, like we in a hell of a predicament as a people.
Yeah.
You know, we're in the hell of a predicament, and all of this accumulates into experience. You know, where we learn and we're educated on how to moving forward.
That's right.
You got any more on that?
Nah, that was it.
Would you like me to keep going in Romans?
Yeah.
All right, the second verse, 5th chapter, it says, by whom also we have access by faith into the grace wherein we stand and rejoice in hope of the glory of God.
You continue on.
Verse 3, and not only so, but we glory in tribulations also, knowing that tribulations work of patience, and patience experience,
there you go.
and experience hope.
Yeah, through all these things, through tribulations, through patience, you know, exercising hope, you know, through Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Hey, all this comes with experience. It helps you how to learn and deal with certain matters. You know, even your own walk. You know, the scripture talks about the Lord chastening those who he loves. When we go through certain tribulations or certain situations, that's the time when you're supposed to be learning, all right, how would I adjust and handle this for next time? Or how have I grown from this experience? Because the Lord does certain things for you to be able to grow. Whether he's trying to install confidence in you, you know, whether in which he's done it with men. Look at the great men of Great Millstone. All these brothers at some point wasn't speakers, But hey, the Lord
Yeah.
installed in you to be confident and be able to talk before
That's
the
through
people.
experience.
That's through experience. Here at Great Millstone, we the only ones that actually, allow brothers to speak. Certain these other Israelite groups, they don't do that, man.
Yeah, the other man is only the top man.
Yeah.
And so is the other men are being prohibited from gaining valuable experience.
Yeah.
We do this in itself, a lesson. We do lessons essentially every day.
Mm-hmm.
As men of Great Millstone is a requirement. It's like homework, right?
Mm-hmm.
That once Priest Peg, formerly known as Priest Alazar of Sakari, he mocked the conduct of Great Millstone as the apostles commanded us to do a lesson every day, and he said, "Oh, they're doing their homework."
Mm-hmm.
You're right, Alazar. We are doing our homework. It's a reason why you have homework. Homework is a format of a practice, which gives you experience for you to be able to perform more efficiently for a test.
That's right.
And see, these guys, they want to lollygag, and when the tests come, can I get some of your oil?
Yeah.
No, you go to those who buy.
Yeah.
And this in itself is a format of us trimming our lamps. Matter of fact, let's get that.
Mm-hmm.
What's that? That's what scripture is that?
Is that Matthew?
Yeah, I believe it's in the Wise versions, Bible Wise. It's Matthew's the 25th chapter.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
So this is Matthew's chapter 25, verse 1. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. All right, and the bridegroom will be Yahushua.
Yep.
All right, and the virgins will be the Israelites.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 2, and 5 of them were wise, and 5 of them were foolish.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 3, they that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. The oils of your works, it's your labors in this truth.
Yep.
All right, it's prophesying.
Mm-hmm.
It's going through the straight gate. Okay, us doing these lessons, this is a part of us bringing our oil for the lamp, for the brine shite. Pardon me, for the burn bright.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what we're doing. We're bringing our oil. We're bringing our labors. We're bringing our works, the labor of love.
That's right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Verse 4, it says, but the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. And that also coincides to that true, perfect doctrine.
Yep.
This oil coincides to wisdom.
Yep.
All right? It says, while the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. And this in itself shows you can have multiple wives.
Yeah.
Why would a parable be made like this if multiple wives was something that was taboo or wicked or evil?
Yep.
Anyway, that's only people arguing about that is, American black women,
Yep.
and then some confused the male counterparts. When you go outside of America, it's not a big deal. You go to Africa, these different countries of Africa is not a big deal. You go to the Middle East, you go to Southeast Asia, it's not something like, oh my goodness. We were going into that the other day, how really the monogamy was something pushed in the early medieval period by the Catholic Church, and that's how it rooted throughout the earth. It's not something that was just a thing.
Nah.
Just one. That was never a thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the point. It's it says to meet him, verse 7, and all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. Verse 8, and the foolish said unto the wise, give us of your oil. No, you can't have of our experience.
Yeah.
We've gained this experience, and through this experience we've acquired wisdom.
Yeah.
Right? But they didn't labor, so they didn't labor in the spirit. So they weren't able to acquire that experience necessary to truly understand and believe these scriptures.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because for instance, with the MOTB, the Mark of the Beast, our labor of going into the root words,
Mm-hmm.
going into the Greek,
Yep.
going into the understanding of chai stigma,
Mm-hmm.
going into the meaning of charagma, and the root word of charagma being charax, and the root word of charax meaning grapho. Understanding that directly and correctly and rightly dividing the word of truth, going into secular history, going into current events and what's taking place. This is a labor of trim.
Mm-hmm.
This is a labor of oil.
Yep.
You know, but these guys who you might have individuals who believe the MOTB is the charagma is the chip, but they don't really, they just the parrots.
Yeah.
They heard it, it made sense, but they didn't, it's not really, they haven't experienced, they haven't endeavored to build up their faith to understand these things.
Yep. Yep.
You know, and then you got some people who don't believe it and they haven't labored to even understand it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not. The MOTB is sin in all of its forms, like IUIC says.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and they just run with that. Well, did you labor? Did you trim your lamps to see if that's what that is? Did you bring your oil?
Right.
They just say that and it just, okay, we're done. No, we're not done. Prove it.
Yep.
They can't prove it. You know, why? Because they don't have oil.
That's right.
You know, it says, continuation of verse 9. Verse 8. It says, and the foolish said unto the wise, give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out.
Mm-hmm.
9th verse. But the wise answer, saying, not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. Right. Yeah, we can't give you our experience.
Yeah.
We can't give you our faith.
Nope.
Because we've acquired this faith and understanding via experience. You know?
Yeah.
It says, but go rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves.
Yeah.
And you can't go to anybody who sell because the bridegroom is here.
Yeah, he's already here.
He's already here. That's John, the 9th chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, I'm going to continue John, the 9th chapter, but let me continue this. I want to finish it out. Verse 10, and while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut.
Yeah.
Verse 11, afterward came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, verily, I say unto you, I know you not.
Mm-hmm.
See? And we don't want to be in that situation where the Lord is rejecting us. That's our worst nightmare.
Yeah.
That's our worst nightmare.
That's right.
That's why we were just watching this Qin Dynasty, this period piece, and you saw the handmaids, you saw the concubines, you saw how they delegated in the courthouse.
Yeah.
You know, you saw how they in the courts of His Majesty, how they made necessary moves, how they acquired provisions to be put in that position to be married to the crown prince.
Yep.
You see?
Yep.
You know, if you got your hands in your pockets and you're not in the courthouse delegating, which is the courthouse is the courts of the Heavenly Father, this tabernacle, this temple, this altar. If you're not delegating on the altar, how can you be a proficient priest?
Right.
You can't just be sitting in the corner of the temple.
Yeah.
You know, you need to be sweeping the temple. You need to be looking. You need to be examining. You need to be asking the elder priest.
Yeah.
You know what? So, you need to be learning how to properly fillet the sacrifice offering.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's experience.
Comes with experience, yeah.
That's experience.
Yeah, anything else on that?
John, the 9th chapter, real quick. You got something?
Yeah, I had something.
I'm going to go through this real
You
quick.
got it? No.
John 9 and 1. John 9 and 4. It says, I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work.
Yep.
So the night's going to come. And if you haven't acquired and gone through experience in the time of the day,
Yep.
you need that labor during the day so you can maneuver in the night.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's experience. You know, it says wisdom and knowledge, the book of Isaiah, wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of thy times.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Fact.
What you got, bro?
Con, I had something. This is Sirach 38 and verse 24.
Sirach 38 and 24. Go ahead.
Con, yeah, this is Sirach 38 and verse 24. It says, the wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure. It come by that free time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You think these NBA players just be goofing off all the time? They really don't, because they have multiple practice they got to get to. Then they got to go to they got to go to the team practice. They got their own personal practice. That's the same with us. You don't see brothers just winging it. Brothers watch videos on their free time. Brothers watch hours of videos. Hours. How you think that some of our elders in our camps have gotten to the point that they gotten to? It's classes.
We just had a 2-hour class earlier today.
Exactly. That comes with time and experience. A lot of these breakdowns and these lessons, a lot of times you ain't gonna catch them on YouTube. You catch some beautiful breakdowns and certain things that don't even be talked about or go over without some of these classes that we take, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times they come through experience. You know, being able to speak in front of people, being able to do a lot of things, they do it in their leisure time. That's the opportunity. Or like a young man becoming priest or whatnot. He asks, what did Yahweh Shah do when he was 12? When his parents and them was looking for him, he was in the church.
He was getting experience.
He was getting experience, asking questions. You know, teaching them,
answering questions,
answering questions.
Yeah.
So like it, yeah.
No, you're right, yeah.
You know, but it's still he was inquiring.
Yeah.
You know,
he was asking questions, and that's the spirit of humility that Yahweh Shah had.
Yeah.
He asked questions. He came up the right way.
Yeah.
Even though he was the son of God,
Mm-hmm.
he was inquiring.
Yeah.
He was gathering and gaining experience.
That's right.
You know.
Yeah.
So he wasn't an upstart. He didn't just, you know.
That took time, man.
Yeah.
So that's why the elders and them be like, yeah, don't go ahead and debate with these guys. Don't go on the TV show with these guys. Why? Because they already experienced that before us.
They already experienced it.
They already told us these niggas was going to bug out. They're not going to listen. They're going to mock and scoff. And that's exactly what happened.
The apostles did that back in the 90s.
Yeah, they was
you guys going
on TV.
They were on actual TV. You guys going on little baby-ass podcasts trying to be cute. The apostles did that stuff in the 90s, and they told us we're not going to do that because it's not edifying. These people aren't going to listen.
Right.
We have our platform to teach, but these guys, they don't have the experience, and they don't want to take heed to those who do have the experience. So what they do, they just exercise folly. They go on these podcasts, and these people are going to line you up with questions that are going to cut the clips to make you look like a fool.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, man. I'm gonna continue reading this. It says, I'm gonna read it again. This is Ecclesiasticus, better known as Sirach, verse 38 and verse 24. It says, the wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure. And he that hath little business shall become wise. Hey, we have a lot of business. Especially with the Heavenly Father. This is his business.
Yeah.
This is his business. So whatever little business that we have here, getting the Hebrew, learning the Hebrew, learning about, taking care of your health.
That's why you can't be entangled with this world.
Yeah.
Because if you too entangled with getting money and doing things of the world, or marriage, which is nothing wrong with marriage.
Nope.
But if you take to yourself multiple wives, that comes with responsibilities and obligations, multiple children.
Yeah.
It takes away from you being able to abound in the spirit.
Yeah.
Learning, dealing with brothers, fellowshipping. Because shoot, I'm gonna hit you with this. Like I had to, get my seed last night.
Yep.
Brothers was linking up, but because I love my responsibility for my seed. I love my seed, but because I'm in that predicament, you know, I wasn't able to fellowship with brothers where I could have came up through experience and edification and
Yeah.
things of that nature. So that's a part of a business that can take you away from the truth,
Yep.
you know?
Yep.
But it's all about balance. It's all about using wisdom. But at the end of the day, you look at these situations and you learn from them and you move accordingly,
Yep.
you know?
There's also like, you remember the class that Albert was holding, man. He was talking about a king. You can't just throw any Jake in there to say they're a king and put them in the king position. They're not ready for it because they don't have the experience. But the Lord, He's building up kings.
Yeah.
We're not lacking in the experience on how to be a king too, to be a leader, man.
Yahushua showed us the way.
Yeah, He's showing us how to do it.
Yeah.
And how you treat your people and how they supposed to be treated in certain things. You know, and that, hey, not everybody's going to like you based off your ruling and how you do certain things. But that's okay because
That's
you're
okay.
doing it for the greater purpose.
Yeah.
Doing it for the greater cause. That's the mindset of a leader and a king, man.
Yeah, you can't move to be liked.
Yeah.
I mean, you use wisdom to gather the hearts of the people, but at the end of the day, you have to make the decision that even if they don't understand,
Yeah.
it's the right decision for the kingdom.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that's exactly, and guess what? We're doing that now. Shoot. I follow the brother. He go a king right here.
Yeah,
His brother here.
The kings and priests.
Kings and priests.
That's
We're a
what the
nation
Lord-
of kings
yeah.
and priests, man.
Yeah.
Before any just random Jake off the street become king. You know what I'm saying? Especially if he not experienced or had the names of Yahweh Shimei Awashai.
Lord has to put you on that throne.
Yeah.
He's preparing us. Right now, we're crown princes.
Yeah.
You know, we're in the position of being a crown prince.
That's right.
So as a crown prince, we're being prepared to take the position as kings for whatever province and domain that Yahweh Shai bless us to inherit.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
you had some more on this
that
one?
was it.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty much it on this lesson. Lord willing, it was edifying. We'll give our praises, honor, glory, and worship unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakakadash. Once again, double honors into the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations into you, Akim, Shalom, keep the faith.
Shalom.